Okay. Hello, everyone. I would like to I would like to introduce our workshop participants. Today, we would like to be a kind of member of the speech and the discussion of Dr. Anita Varga. She is from University of Duno-Juvaros. She would like and she will plan to talk about the evolution of the effectiveness of practice-oriented training in sustainable synergy in higher education institutions during a pandemic. Before presentation, during the pandemic, we faced several situations which addressed the challenges and opportunities of the COVID-19 pandemic, we know, which has led to the unprecedented use of the technology of education and training purpose. Regarding the present opportunities, including improved quantity of teaching concerning digital technologies as well, support for the digitalization of teaching methods and pedagogies and provision of infrastructure required for inclusive and resilient remote learning. I would like to introduce and give the speech for our Dr. Anita. We are glad to see and hear your research. Please, it's your turn. Thank you, Dr. Anita. You are muted, I think. Please open your microphone.
Fine?
Yes, it's fine. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to everybody. The topic of my presentation is...
Can you see my screen?
No.
No?
I don't see. No.
I'm sharing now, but I'm trying to do it again. Yes, now it's okay. Yes, I think.
Yes, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. The topic of my presentation is evolution of effectiveness practice-oriented training and substance synergy in a higher education institution during a pandemic. Higher dual education be first demanding basic master degree program in the fields engineering, informatics, agriculture, nature sciences, economics, and health sciences, as well as bachelor degree program in social work. In the dual training, theoretical education take place higher education institution and practical taking place in parallel at partner organization. In addition to his/her higher education studies, student is dual training the period. As a result, some again work experience strengthen your professional competencies during your training. The partner organization must have an agreed dual training program ESDP with the higher education institution for practical training. Based on ESDP, the partner organization trains students according to their other need and supports them. Expand them with practical knowledge, competencies, and institutional training of the students. In doing so, he educates future employees who can become full-time employees immediately after graduating. As a student in dual training, you will gain insight into the operation of the partner organization, or your choice learn about corporate culture, learn basic of the profession from professionals. And by the time you complete your studies, you may already have competitive knowledge and experience that will give you huge and advantage in starting your career. And you may even have your degree, your packet with an employment contact. Worldwide demand is the German model of dual education, which young people and prepared for career by combination of practical training in company and education at vocational school. In arrangement with Germany 3 years ago with the participation European Commission, Spain, Greece, Portuguese, Italy, Slovakia, Latvia have agreed to adopt the structure on the dual educational system. Russia used the same system to train mechatronic technicians, warehouse logisticians, bakers, cooks. India, the first group of young people are being introduced the foundation of metalworking. Brazil tool makers as a completing dual education. Cooperation also exists with China and Thailand. Next slide, please. Why choose the dual training? The dual training has many benefits for you. You may not really feel the significance of some of these, the age 18. But believe me, later experience will provide you worse choosing dual training. Can find or what is like to be employed of partner organization, and you can also feel that are serious and continue on you. However, you can also be sure that you not have to learn anything, that you will for need leader, because the knowledge you pass based practice partner organization. Next slide, please, Aygun. Thank you. Dual training partners will also remunerate for your work under student employment contracts at least 65% mandatory minimum wage, and may people provide you in fridge benefits, cafeteria, travel or housing allowance. In dual training, also get paid your studies. You receive monthly allowance not only during the internship week, but also during diligent period, when your primary task is to attend college, university classmates regularly, write your dissertation, and complete required assignment. As a full-time student of course, you are also entitled to all benefits that college, university students otherwise entitled you. Students in dual education together, they studies forging themselves into community where they can belong to, where they can ask for help. And because you also take college, university course with our classmates in traditional education, you won't be left out of anything other about studying or having fun. Your student employment contracts experience when you receive your degree. From now on, neither a partner organization, not the students, has any obligations each other. Next slide, please. The effect of COVID-19 on dual training system shown on the slide. The COVID-19 pandemic related lockdown and physical distancing measure caused not only unpracticed description in the provision, education, training, but also catalyze the innovation and distance learning. While access to learning and skills development may lead in some contexts through rapid shift to distance learning in a digital device. The most marginalized group and continue learning. Part of them at Learning Solutions Suite. Suite is technical and vocational education training, is a Suite program. Has not facilitated the acquisition of practical skills and organization of work-based learning, which are essential components for the success of technical and vocational education. Business closures and loses profits had impact to employment and prospects of decent work and caused cuts of the offer and training placements in enterprises. Lack of operational certification and the general decline in the quality of training caused demotivation among learners and teachers, and together with rising economic hardship, increased the likelihood of people dropping out of education. Yet the crisis may have an upside, which is based on results of an online survey on the effect of COVID-19 pandemic on the provision tweet and skills development conducted by ILO and UNESCO and World Bank between 5 April and 15 May 2020. The results of these collective efforts have led to the emergence in innovative solution in response pandemic, but we must remember that without further efforts to rebuild a better tweet system, those innovative response will become merely short-lived trend. Knowledge-driven action, transforming higher education global substance. Higher education institutes are uniquely positioned to contribute to social, economics, and environmental transformation that are required to able take words pressing issues. 2030 agenda through a focus in 3 interrelated themes. One, need to move towards inter and transdisciplinary modes producing and circulating knowledge. Second, the imperative on becoming open institution, fostering epistemic dialogue and interacting diverse way and knowing. The demand for a stronger presence in society through proactive engagement and partnering with other societal actors. Higher education institution must take on stronger role to take over the most pressing issues. Next. Thank you. Answers to new challenges, digital competence, modern ICT tools in higher education. the solution that can be used in distance learning are appreciate various software, simulation task, creativity, knowledge, skills, attitudes. Knowledge is learning about the possibilities of ICT, interpreting legal frameworks and ethical principles. Skills, using app, using internet, gathering information, share. Attitude, creative problem solving, critical thinking. Dual training areas and training place in Hungary. Percentage distribution of training areas in 19. Agriculture at 20%, economic 27%, social science 5%, nature science 3%, informatics 9%, technical 36%. Dual training areas and training place in Hungary. Dunaújváros, Debrecen, Eger, Baja, Kaposvár, Kecskemét, Gyöngyös, Miskolc, Nyíregyháza, Sopron, Veszprém, Pécs, Győr, Szolnok, Gödöllő, and Szeged. Research and sample. Presentation of the study examining effectiveness training with industrial background 1 and 2. Study time spring 2020 and spring 2021. Method is online questionnaire. The University of Dunaújváros currently has 101 students in dual training. According to the date of questionnaire, dual trainers help the professional development of the students of informatics engineering, informatics, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, management, technical management, and material engineering. 2020 is companies representing 15%, 17% random sample, 70 people, and represented 6 people in our fields. 2021 companies representing 45%, 67% random sample in 67 people, represented 5 people in all fields. The topics in the online questionnaire. My opinion, the best in terms of this field of study, what do you think could be changed to make this form of training more attractive to students? And in your opinion, has the pandemic changed the relationship between dual trainers and their students? And if so, how? Results 1, 42, 40 of the responders are able to perform the work processes and tasks requiring independent work without any difficulties. In the case of practical subject, the institution even encouraged the solution of independent task. The ministerial decision shall be completed with by all parties concerned and shall prevail. There were no among UOD students in the previous semester. The training take place in digital form, company-specific, veteran necessary to participate in personal consultations, adapt to epidemiological protocol specific to the given company. The slide see you 67% satisfied. Has been in dual training for between 2 and 5 months. 33% had been dual training for more than 6 months. Practical application of the theoretical knowledge of the dual students, 30% talk about no, 70% self-reported yes. Results 2. The time the integration of dual students in given organization and practical application of the theoretical knowledge of the dual students 2021. And summary is advantage and disadvantage. Advantage training is that especially practice-oriented and problem-solving. Stakeholders have moved closer together in time, professional development, flexibility, cooperation. For example, disadvantage, limited number of forms of work. COVID has had a bad impact on educational institutions, making it more difficult to establish legal relationship with new students. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Dr. Anita. We are glad to hear and see your presentation, your research. It is appreciate really us to see your findings. It helps us and see the big picture of the transportation from digital education in higher education, and it helps us to analyze the real situation. And it's very interesting to see your results and the different 2020, 2021, your survey. It will help us for young researchers to investigate and implement all these data to their research. Thank you, Dr. Anita. Maybe,
thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Maybe someone had question. If no question, we may continue with Miss Gunay. Miss Gunay, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me as well?
Yes. May we continue with you? Then, we will continue with Dr. Aygun Aleskarova. Okay?
Sure.
I will share your presentation. Just 1 minute.
Thank you.
Give me 1 minute. I will try to share your presentation. I think it's done in 1 second. Can you see my screen? In 1 minute. Wait. I think I shared. Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Perfect.
turn is yours. Gunay Kazimzada. I would like to introduce our workshop speaker because she is. We may talk a lot about Gunay, but Technical University of Berlin, and even she will give brief information about herself. And I think she is a young researcher as well. We are very proud to see you in our workshop. Good luck. Go ahead, Mr. Gunay.
Thank you very much. May I also ask you to click when it's relevant to go to the next slide?
Yes, of course. Whenever you want, you may ask me. Yes.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. So again, thanks a lot for the generous invitation. It's also my honor to be presenting here my work, my experience. As previously introduced, I'm Gunay Kazimzada. I am soon to be PhD candidate, like PhD in computer science at Technical University of Berlin. And I'm currently conducting my research together with the Weizenbaum Institute for the Network Society, which is currently based in Berlin. The Weizenbaum Institute is a very newly founded institute by German government in 2017. And yeah, we can go to the next slide. Thanks a lot. And the main idea of the university, of the institute, is to research digitalization and its critical impact in society. And what we mean by digitalization and its critical impact, we have divided this into 6 interdisciplinary research areas, because the Institute believes that interdisciplinarity is the future, actually, of education, and it's a future of research as well, because nowadays we see that lots of areas and domains are emerging with each other, and with the digitalization and emerging technologies, this is impossible to research one discipline without it's overlapping with the other disciplines. So this institute is a consortium of different institutions based in Berlin. And we, as a Technical University of Berlin, are mostly concerned with technical aspects of digitalization. And can we go to the next slide, please? Next slide, please. Yeah, thanks a lot. And I am currently contributing in the group called Criticality of Artificial Intelligence-Based Systems. And what we mean by criticality of artificial intelligence-based systems is we can see that in lots of domains, AI is actually a game changer, and artificial intelligence, of course, it's a buzzword nowadays, but it's also changing the way we live, the way we operate, the way we learn, actually. And future is for sure AI based, and it is impacting us not only in the economical level, not only in the societal level, it's impacting us in the legal, from the legal aspects, also from the psychological level, and from the different other aspects of our life. And when we look to the research over AI and over digitalization, in a German experience, let's say in Germany, it is constructed in the way that research is a fundamental for the society and the further transfer of this into society. Without research, you can not do anything. And for sure, we as a German Internet Institute, Weizenbaum Institute, this is our main mission and goal, to understand how future will look like with digitalization, and how we can be prepared for that from the policy level, from the legal perspective, from the societal perspective, and from different other perspectives. Next slide, please. And when we talk about specifically about education and how it might look like, we know that in the we are in the fourth industrial revolution age, and everything is changing. The education itself also is changing, and if we talk about the future skills and skills that will be relevant and required for us and for the next generations to survive and to operate well, the AI and cybersecurity and different other emerging technologies are in the middle of this, hype cycle. And can we go to the next slide? And if we would look actually to the educational strategies, innovation strategies of different countries, artificial intelligence is in the basics and in the core of the strategies, because the vision of the countries and the vision of the company of the policymakers, decision makers, is that we have to prepare our children and our younger generation for this future, so they will be ready for AI assisted jobs, where part of your job let's say, is taken by the automated system, and you have to learn how to work with the systems. Let's say you are a lawyer and some part of your work is automated, you are doing the semi-automated jobs, and in the very critical aspects of your work, you are somehow contributing to the decision-making procedure. So if we look to the future skills, critical thinking, emotional intelligence is as required for sure as your hard skills, as machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science, and other very important skills. The next slide is actually showing us the global AI strategy landscape, and from 2017 until today, there are already 70 countries that are that have completed their AI strategy for the next 5, 10, 15 years. And Canada was the first country which actually prioritized AI and education, the future skills in this strategy, because we cannot talk about future skills without artificial intelligence and without emerging technologies, because this is the part of the future. Next slide, please. Yes, this is the Canadian Artificial Intelligence National Strategy, and this is the core concepts of their implementation. They have founded the 3 AI institutions, which first one was mostly concentrated on AI, on education, on educating the digital and data skills to the younger generation. The second institute was mostly concentrated on policy and research. And the third one was concentrated on implementation of the learned skills to the real industry and to the automation, to different other domains. We actually can see in the next slide, yes, the Canadian AI ecosystem, and we can see the results of the strategy in the 5 years actually. So how many startups are already created with respect to the interplay between universities, government, public and private sector collaboration, and it shows that the strategy actually worked, and they have implemented the strategy well, because it's not only about the strategy, it's about also how you implement your strategy in the long term. So next slide is just some statistics from Canadian strategy on AI and education. We can see that these startups that were funded are already giving the impact in the GDP of the country, and how many the brain drain is coming actually to Canada but not going out of Canada. So very established researchers and people, experts in this field are coming actually to Canada to contribute. Facebook, Google, Amazon opened their data centers there. They understood that there is a huge human capital there, so they must use this capital. So we can see that investing in education actually how this impacted the economic situation of the country in different levels. So yeah, next slide. It is the I think this was the New Zealand's AI ecosystem. Yes, and New Zealand is also one of the game changers in this field, and they are also aware of the fact that this cooperation and partnership between public-private sector, government, decision makers, and startups is actually a good strategy for transforming the education system and transforming the future of the country. Yeah, next slide is actually the German strategy towards 4.0 industry, because we know that the engineering schools in Germany, they are highly like they are very, very good. And their main strategy is towards understanding the cultural shift, because you can do lots of technological advancements for sure in universities, in different industries, but without cultural shift, without mind change, you cannot actually have very long-term results. So this is their first principle, that we have to first change the culture. the way we are thinking about main issues, and we have to deploy the technology, and then we can think about the future skills and which hard and soft skills we have to teach our younger generation. So yeah, this is the the future of education that I am envisioning, and because for sure
we have some
of the times. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear now.
Okay, great. Yeah, I was frozen, I think. So in future of education, if we think about the learning process and individual learning, can you hear me? Okay, great.
Yes, we can hear.
Great. And the university learning should not be some. Also, the complementary individual learning should be also included in the process, because we are again living in the middle of the technological revolution, and we cannot just rely on university education and the things that we are gaining from universities, but the students might also think about the other ways of self-learning and self-development. Inclusion is one of the aspects of one of the main aspects of future education, because if we talk about underrepresented communities and people with disabilities, artificial intelligence and other technologies are actually helping us to solve this problem as well. Also, the digital divide might be also one of the main aspects that AI can solve in the future. And the way we are seeing, we see the tutorship and mentorship also one of the things that will change in the next 10-15 years, I guess, because it's the tutoring school and the way we are seeing like the teachers and tutors in the universities. This concept might change into more mentorship and one-to-one self-learning practices. Yeah, assistant robots and the learning analytics is also the future of education right now, because the individualized and customized education is something that already different countries are experiencing and having a good results, because learning is a very individual process, and there is no one single fit for everyone in this process. So this is something that emerging technologies also can help us. So yeah, thanks a lot. I hope that it was not so much, but I wanted to share with you as much as I can from my own experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Gunay. It's really appreciate us, and we can see in your speech and discuss and exactly your research that which role we have in emerging technologies in the future of education. You show us your viewpoint, and it's very interesting, and also it help all the young researchers for using it in their future plans, maybe research articles and etc. Thank you very much, Ms. Gunay. I would like to introduce to our next and last speaker in our workshop. It's Dr. Aygun Aleskarova. She will give us brief information about herself. Time is yours, Dr. Aleskarova. Good luck. No, I think we can't hear you. You are muted, I suppose. Please open your microphone. Maybe take off your, maybe plug off your earrings, maybe plug off, take it off and use normal voice of your laptop. Yes, talk. I think yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Can
yes,
you hear me now?
Yes, it's okay. Yes, you may go on.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good morning, everyone. Let me. Okay. My name is Aygun. I graduated from Warwick University and Warwick Business School, UK, with specialty in international business. And I have 23 years of experience in banking, especially in trade finance and international banking. And the topic is very interesting. And thank you so much for your presentations. I just wanted to add something from my point of view. How can I see from my side? Nowadays, the universities mostly focus on digital transformation strategy in order to stay competitive in global education. However, the staying competitive, as I'm thinking, is taking on quite a different meaning, and as it includes the long-term implication of COVID-19. And the impact of sustainable digital transformation, I'm thinking in universities, could be perceived as system from one side and systematic from another side. And here, actually, the conceptual models of digital transformation are very important to universities and business schools as well, in order to obtain the sustainability and rapid technological changes. But however, as everywhere, and here as well, there is some gap in practical, implementable, and simple digital transformational models, combining the technology system and educational phenomena. And and as this gap is still sizable, impactful, and we are not able to ignore it, as I can see, in order to complete this gap, there is some need of association between sustainable digital transformation and its impact in the universities, using some innovative qualitative data, qualitative grounded theory approach. And therefore, it's very important. Nowadays, we can see that researchers have proposed different models for sustainable digital transformation in terms of digital transformation, green technologies, let's say implementable approaches in education, industry, universities, and so on. Also, I can say that there is a need to develop here an innovative, the innovative scheme might be designed to stimulate sustainable practice, with including reporting mechanism and leadership implication is very important. And as soon as the universities will recognize the digital transformation capabilities, enough recognized, then they could transform into the operational effectiveness also, which is very important in their business sustainability. And also the green implementation, the developing of the numerous value propositions for the green implementation of digital transformation as a new study in the research methods, or research studies or potential studies might be. Therefore, this topic is still under the development, and is very important as well in emerging markets like our markets. And therefore, once again, thank you so much for choosing this very important topic. And we researchers have still time, and we have to work on it in order to develop it. And from my side, also I wanted to thank you so much. And also I wanted to ask Anita, Dr. Anita, regarding your presentation. I wanted to ask regarding the regarding the implementation of your model. Is it still under consideration, or you already implemented at your university, practically implemented?
Yes, my university practically implemented 14 companies use this model, and 50% satisfied. The generation problem is problem solving and practical communication. The COVID-19 is a worst situation because the students and the teacher don't see it, the classmates, and COVID-19 is a worse situation because the model is worse. I agree. The situation is good because I prepare my model and understanding my presentation satisfied is good.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, this is a good opportunity for all of us.
I don't hear.
To convince. Yeah, I mean, this is a good opportunity to convince the digital transformation at the universities.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
for
so much.
all your
Thank you so much.
participation in our workshop. It is very interesting, really, Dr. Anita, Dr. Aygun, Miss Gunay, Kazimzada. Really, I very thankful for you, for your participation and great discussion and your showing us your survey and results. See you in the next future plans in our university. I wish all the goodness and good luck in your work experience and work life and your own life. Good luck. Thank you very much. See you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.